And welcome back, everybody. We are here back into the interview corner. Where were you, Senor Performer? Why it was so long without an interview? Well, I was giving my presentation, I cannot be on two places, and I cannot stream that one because people gotta pay to come to here. So I'm sorry, but we're back and we're having a few more adventures before we cut it off. We see a lot of people happily leaving the hotel, the exposition center, because almost every sponsor is packing up. But speaking of sponsors and talks, I have my amigo Dmitry.
Yep.
Did I say it well? Who also gave a talk, right?
Yeah, that was a nice full house packed with the people. That was, I would say, it was a very tough um, competition with Tarek at this point because
Okay.
he was driving the panel for the AI
Uh huh.
discussions with the nice celebrities on the list, and I was like worried that nobody would be in the room. But luckily, I got the full house, and people were standing in my room listening to the talk, which is also pretty, I would say, the high pitch right now related to the machine learning. But maybe the main difference that most of the conversation these days were related to the generative AI, like
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT here, ChatGPT there. And I brought the talk, which was, I would say, more old fashioned, old school machine learning, which still works and brings the value. And that was about like how we
Wait,
utilize
wait, wait. Not
ML.
about no, no, no. You're getting ahead. I really appreciate that you come and are willing to share with
Thank you.
us. But before we jump into details, some people may not know you, may not know your
Oh,
whereabouts. What do you
sure.
do, and what's up with Dimitri? Where do you come from as well? Because many details that probably the audience want to know.
Yeah, so for some of you, my name may sound a new one. Some of you may already know me for many years because practically I am related to the report portal and I'm the originator of this solution, which is like 10 years on the market already. Some of them probably use it for quite a time. And I was the guy who's like initiated it many, many years back and still driving that for the day from the day zero. So I was mainly located in like in the European region, Eastern Europe, the Belarus itself, and I moved to US like exactly 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like Adam invited me to like basically move to US, and currently I work at EPAM Systems, where we work in a team with Adam and Tariq King, working on the variety of the ML and AI stuff in test automation. So probably we will come up with something very sweet and I would say like cutting edge things for the marketing. So practically in terms of like what I do in the company, I'm in title of like senior delivery near to the director position, and the my main role is kind of the head of the testing products. So I do have a set of the tools like Report Portal, Selenium, Drill4j, blah blah blah. All of them, my portfolio and my main interest is actually to build up and grow up those tools, which we practically share for free with the community. And this is the way how we and the company itself like, contribute into the open source, into the community, and give all these capabilities for free.
That's great set of activities and rich. It sounds like you have been having fun there at APAM. Lots of fun with surrounded by Tariq and Adam and all these great figures. How does that have impacted you? I'm sure that you feel a lot of growth. And how is it working with them?
Uh, well,
Oh,
assuming that I do work in EPAM for almost 17 years,
wow.
I hope that EPAM affected Adam and Tariq enough when they joined us.
Hmm.
So, like it depends how you think. What is the main point, main center of the gravity in the universe? Yeah, either that's like Tariq or Adam, or maybe like the team of the engineers and experts we already have. But what I can say you for sure, like both of us are benefiting from this union, and it's definitely a perfect combination of all the I mean like all the experience, knowledge what both Tariq Adam has, and the engineering DNA in our company, in our organization, because we're like very solid engineers, and we basically combine it all together to bring like kind of make it shift to the next level.
That's how is that effort going? Because it's not an easy task to keep like shifting and moving to this next level that you mentioned. Uh, how are things going in that shift process? Because
It's like it happens constantly.
okay,
Even for me, I mean, like I started as a junior developer back in times, like a Java developer, and ended up as a program manager driving the set of the portfolio solutions. And we still, I mean, like I assume the most important thing for not only for me, for but for every one of you guys, still keep your hands inside, like in hands-on with the coding, with the stuff you do, because as soon as the new technologies will emerge, and well, the chat gpt and all these LMs, that not the last one, probably will see a ton of them appearing, and all of that, like while you still on the technical side, you understand the things, you can do it yourself, you will be on the edge of those changes. And all this, I mean, like currently speaking about what shift is coming, um, there might be a bit of the exaggeration here that we all lose the jobs. Well,
I
it's
don't think so. Or
no,
do you
no
think?
way. Assuming like if you just see how the ChatGPT coding right now,
Hmm.
we probably will have even more job to test that everything it produces. Well, it's still good at very simple stuff, like let's say very atomic actions or implementations, but it's not yet good in implementation the whole complex structures, and it will never test the same as the experienced person. It's never like, at least for now, what we see, it will never be so intuitive to understand where, what, and how to break up within your system. So definitely, things will changes will come, but it's not like we will stay on the side of the road with our boxes, with no, let's say, asking for the food or code for food. No, it's not like that. But we definitely have to keep up on the wave. We have to be uh, like in hands-on and understand what's coming. Just do not ignore the changes. Look at it.
Yeah, because they can overwhelm very easily, as you were very well, Wes, you mentioned. These things are changing, and even faster speeds are evolving,
Absolutely.
are enabling us. But I think you hit the nail on the head on one of those. Like the biggest work that we will have to do now with AIs is to continuously test them and check that because we gotta babysit them. They are not always producing what we are looking for. Yeah, they may generate some code, help may probably they will replace Stack Overflow here and there,
Yeah, to some extent, yeah, yeah,
but still we gotta babysit our AIs and see what they are producing, and
for
that's
sure.
QA processes that.
For sure. That's like one of the not like article, like blog post on LinkedIn I made. That was like my things thoughts about the what is the next stage, like in which stage we're currently entering, and assuming the, let's say, hype around the AI stuff and the capabilities it currently brings us, I would rather name it the, let's say, the next, not like decade, but the next period in the testing itself and software development is more like AI augmented
Mhm.
rather than completely displaced with the AI. And that means that we just like will use it as yet another tool which will help us and speed up the process itself. They might bring some issues for the junior engineers, could be to some extent we might replace them, but at the end of the day it might just ended up as like we can take a look into the, let's say, perspective that previously the, I mean, like let's say 15 years ago, the tester should be like the guy who can read the requirements and click on the screen. These days the tester is somebody who knows what the SQL does. He
Mhm.
can, like, not only the SQL database, but no SQL database should be on the list. They have to be able to script the code. They should understand how the microservices work. What is the gRPC at the end of the day? Blah blah blah. So like the list of those requirements is so huge, and the thing is like we just will add more items on that list to be able to work with. And definitely the AI capabilities will speed up, but again, I would name it as like AI augmented process rather than complete displacement.
You know, you mentioned here. I love that one. It's a not. It's augmentation instead of displacement. Absolutely, we are gonna be augmented. Our skills, capabilities, everything with AI. We will be able to get further and faster. That's the biggest one. But you mentioned something that made me think like the new generations that will be kind of born with AI,
Hmm.
like the ones that are born with a cell phone already in the pocket. My brother just had a baby, and I've seen the baby with a cell phone already. Like, and many people cringe and get scandalized by that. And I remember when this, let's translate this into programming languages, these higher tier programming languages, because oh my god, those new Java developers do not know assembler, do not know how to develop true ones and zeros.
Oh yeah.
But we're building on top of the blocks that are we still have the professionals that know assembler code and can go very deep in the bits and bytes,
Hmm.
but I think we gotta learn the next level and keep building on those. What do you think?
Uh, well, definitely, like with the next iterations, we will phase up the languages. Like even if right now we can take Java itself and let's say the Kotlin language, which is basically a synthetic sugar on top of the Java itself.
Mhm.
But the thing is that it really simplifies the way how you program, and it actually have to exist because. Imagine like every single company on the market right now transforms into the software company. What I mean here that just like let's take on automotive. Back in times there was like bolts and like clutches with almost no like electronic inside of it. Nowadays cars is like full of the entertainment applications and all of that. Banks are switching to this software, so like your bank in 5 years gonna be just like the app and
Banks are
your application.
99.9% software nowadays.
Yeah, and it come into every single place. That actually means that we will need more and more development efforts, and that actually requires more and more simplified ways to produce the software. Where there those synthetic languages which like make you and help you to speed up the delivery and implementation, that's the place for them. And that means like if you can imagine that it's like opposite form of the pyramid, more like a cone, where you still have those guys and need those guys who will do the very low level,
Foundational.
yeah, foundational stuff. But as soon as the higher end of this funnel or like corner grows, you will need more and more engineers to do the work. Some of them probably will be kind of replaced by AI, but again, for the what we see right now, it's more like augmented. So those guys will be able to speed up the delivery itself.
Hmm.
They might cause, let's say, they ended up with that programming efforts will cost less and like testing efforts will cost less, or on the opposite side we can think that we just will deliver more effort, more testing, more code development for the same price. It's like it's on both sides. And here we have to think about the, let's say, clients who's paying the money to us for like implementation, for the testing itself. We actually having these augmented capabilities with AI, we benefit from it, speeding up our delivery, and clients practically understand that, and they also think like maybe we can just get rid of those guys and make ChatGPT implement everything. No, it's not going to work like that. But we definitely have to split those benefits, like cost saving effect, with clients, which again means that either we will receive less in payments, or we will receive the same but just deliver more. This is the main outcome of this story.
I think that some of the things that you mentioned is like, yeah, with this new automation tool, you'll get rid of all the testers. No, you're still gonna need this knowledge. I love this pyramid example that you gave. How many front end developers do you have against how many, I don't know, input output driver developers do you have
Indeed.
for operating system, kernel developers, things that are really, really low level? You have 10 maybe, and then what they produce is like explodes
Exactly.
upwards.
Exactly.
I love that analogy. That was because it's not that they are gonna disappear. We're gonna evolve. The things that we're gonna make are faster, further, better. We're gonna be more efficient, not fired, not. We're gonna be optimized. I love that perspective. And out of your daily duties and your job and what you do, I was wondering, how did this? I mean, you're in a conference. You gave a talk. We're gonna get into that in a moment. Don't think I forgot. Uh, but how was this transition? How did you one day woke up and say like, I'm gonna be a public speaker? How
Oh
was that?
man,
How was that
that's a
transition?
good question. Well, just to give the background,
Hmm.
um, that's my not like first, maybe second public talk in US. Practically because I moved right after the COVID period, everything was closed. But back in the European region, I was talking a lot. I mean, like my usual schedule for the year was like from 10 to 15 conferences a
Wow,
year.
cool.
So I like, let's say, frequent public speaker, and for me that also ended up as a like kind of side hustle or my little pet project. There was a conference named Delex, which
Hmm.
stands for like Delivery Excellence, and that was actually aimed at inspiring the DevOps engineers plus the test automation. So that was like completely focused on DevOps edge with the test automation, and that was pretty huge. That was a pretty, let's say, well recognized name and the conference back in there. COVID, I mean, like the pandemic
That
changed
was.
a bit, and the situation in this region like made me to some extent move here in the US. But from the public speaking perspective, I start to talk. I don't know. I don't even remember how far away, but I do recall some, let's say, moments back on from my school. I was studying in gymnasium, and there was like, let's say, a
For
ton.
the record, gymnasium is kind of high school here.
Yeah, probably high school. Yeah.
Yeah, because here gymnasium is like where you get
Oh
off,
no no
and
no no no. Yeah yeah.
just to
It's
clarify, in Europe, it has some other meanings.
yeah. So it's like a high school with the extra classes for mathematics, informatics, and etc. So like very high education, and practically I've been participating a lot in different, public activities there on the stage, and this is the time where I started to build up those public speaking experience, which naturally was transformed into the speaking within the company at company events, and at the end of the day, like with the report portal itself, which again, like free and open source, which means we do not spend on the marketing, but I can do it through participation in the conference and events, which I did actually. And through that, it helped us to build the community and naturally build up the speaking experience, which ended up for me not even like being speaker here at the StarWest, but also being the, like, let's say, in Ellison position back at home.
Organizer and
Yeah, the organizer of the conference, and we also made, like a special, not like programs, but let's say we were helping and mentoring other speakers who like a new guys, like the first time at the stage. We had a special series of events for them, just to give them the opportunity to bring, let's say, speak with the smaller audience.
hmm.
We will help them with the slides, we will help them with the speech itself,
Oh,
and this gave them the possibility to be, let's say, less nervous with that, but be ready to step up in like after several iterations, to step up on the big stage and speak in front of the people. So like, let's say, we did, like me personally contributed a lot into that back there. So hopefully I will let's say plug into the current community here and help it out as well.
I think and I foresee that you're gonna blaze through everything and open up.
Hope so.
Sorry, I didn't know that you had all that experience, and sounds like it naturally flew through you right out of school, and you were born to be a public speaker or in the event organization. uh, I can tell that you feel at ease, and you have been. This is not your first rodeo, so
Yeah,
uh,
not for sure. Like maybe several hundreds already or something.
cool. I love it. I love to see all that experience and all that background that you already have gone places, have organized things, have presented, and but that brings us to here today in StarWest 2023 in Disneyland in Anaheim, California. For if anyone is watching in the future, what let's get now into the topic of your talk. What was it about? And well, first, what was it about? What was the title?
The title was a pretty long one. It's like related of the leveraging the machine learning in to find the value in test automation logs, something like that. It was a pretty long one, and I made this description for like let's say many months back. But again, the main idea of that, how we leverage the machine learning to identify and tag fails in test automation, distinguishing them between like what are the product issues, what are the automation issues, and what are the system issues. And that this capability is incorporated as a part of the report portal functionality itself. And practically, my main goal for this talk was actually to explain people uh, what is the machine learning like from like how it understand the text itself, because we again it's a bit of the exhilaration when people from the stage saying like the chat gpt will understand everything you said about. No, it's like literally it's not, because that's the model which just knows from, let's say, in a vectorized form, which is the highest probability for the next word to be in this sentence,
Hmm.
filtered out with the several layers of the like neural networks to make it sound natural for the people. It doesn't understand what you ask. It returns you the right sequence of the words based on the context you gave it. That's it. And we should understand like with this talk I was trying to explain how the machine sees this text and how we make machine recognize and find similar issues. And like it all sits on the side of the vectorization of the text, how it transform to the numbers, to the digits, like all these frequency characteristics, and practically recognized and visualized in the form of the vector in multi-dimensional space, and how the other vectors will align with that, so we can build up these clusters and find the most relevant one and give the answer. So uh, all of that, well, it's a very not like super complicated, I would say. It's a very overwhelming stuff. And at the end of the day, on the screen, on the UI of the application, one of the thing you see is like click analysis. It takes few seconds and you have everything been analyzed. I mean, like your fail reports categorized for you by the machine, and it practically reduced all your personal effort to do that. And again, on UI, it looks like click, few seconds, and everything is done.
Hmm.
But all the magic happens on the back end, and it's like a lot of this magic, a lot of mathematics should happen in order to like make it possible. And when we look at something like that, we just think, oh, damn, that's magic.
It's yeah, because you do a very good mention, like what is in the back, what how it really happens. Because yeah, many products that we see, I even saw like a Scooby Doo meme. I don't know if you
Mm.
have seen it. That a company like, hey, yeah, I'm an AI company, and they leave the mask, and in the back end is a ChatGPT AI API,
Yeah, or even
and
like if else statement for
yeah,
the statistics.
just like a bot with a lot of ifs, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I think first, I'm glad that you clarified, because it sounded like it was like a somewhat heavyish talk for the audience. Do you think that went over some of the heads? Because talking vectors and some of the decision parameters for an AI, how the probabilistic and statistical things that have to be inside of an AI. That's tough, no?
Yeah, but the thing is like I, I actually made this talk a bit low, let's say like lower,
Low
not the
level,
deeper, not the deep, let's say shallow. I mean more shallow too, so everyone
high
can
level,
get it.
just like.
Yeah, and right after the talk, I received several feedbacks. Like people were saying thank you because this was the form how everyone can understand, those who are deeper in that and not. And another feedbacks were like, thank you, you was the only one who at least started to say next level deeper than just chat GPT. And I think that it is actually a good point because if you just go to conference and listen about like yet another chat GPT something, it's not what you look for. I mean, like everyone
Mm-hmm.
can open up chat GPT and then type something into that, but the best way how you can apply this tool, and again back to like augment your work, if you have at least understanding to one more level.
Sure. Okay. Well, this is service here at the Disney Hotel.
That's a
Sorry,
good
go
one. Yeah. So if you at least can understand one more, maybe a few more levels, how it works in the background, that give you a way more advanced capabilities when you will use it too. Same
on.
like we speak about those synthetic languages, right? You can be very on the top, just utilizing the main, but you will never understand, let's say, how the object-oriented programming works if you never like use it real.
It's a little bit like the discussion and argument that happened between Tariq and Jason, that some people do not really know what is happening inside of the AI. It always reminds me of, are you familiar with the Isaac Asimov?
Isaac Asimov. Yeah.
iRobot, the laws of robotics, the three rules,
Yes.
blah blah blah.
Hmm.
And their books, they were, most of the books, they were analyzing the positronic brains of the
Hmm.
robots that were some complicated, so complicated that they needed psychologists, robot
Hmm.
psychologists, to know what the AI was doing. I feel like nowadays some of these discussions are happening, but with what you are saying, like having deep understanding and knowing what is really happening under the hood, it's gonna be critical.
Yes, we have to be because like if we will just look at it and think, oh, it's a magic, like, and some of the stardust on top of that, it's not under our control. It's just like, and well, I will agree with the Elon Musk on that point that we have to be on the side when we're able to control, and you can control when you understand this.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like I was a little scary thing for your nightmares. The thing is that even ChatGPT, we train it to lie.
Yep.
We train it to be, let's say, very polite.
It's
It,
trained to, for whatever you feed it.
yeah, but no. I'm saying about it. Let's say at one more deeper level, because initially the ChatGPT
Oh
model was super aggressive and unpolite, and that was, by the way, shared by the OpenAI developers. That initial model, let's say, just imagine if you train the ChatGPT based on Reddit, it will
no,
be
Twitter. You
or
know what
Twitter.
happened with that AI in Twitter that
It's
became
super
racist and
aggressive. It's a racist, and it's like incredible. The thing is, like ChatGPT was also a bit on that side,
mm-hmm.
and uh, most, let's say, a huge portion of the um, neural networks added into that is just making it more polite,
Mm-hmm.
and practically we train it as is, but then we make that to be pretend in a way how we want it.
Yeah.
And here comes the very important question, like the what is acceptable and what is not is really depend in which location or like state or the country this technology appears. So if it's developed in California, that's probably will be addressed to be polite against all the laws which are in California, which might be the different from like Australia, Japan, anything like that. So practically that means that we already train this thing to lie, even if despite the fact it might, let's say, not like think but generate something in a way it does, we make it say in the way we want.
It
to like,
will end up lying in a very smart way, but still, whatever we put, it's still a system. What you put in is what you will get out, and you gotta be careful with what you are doing with these modern systems. We gotta understand them better and pay attention to what Dmitry is saying, because it's really important that we don't just or are scared of this thing and just don't touch it, or just go over it and go crazy with it, because there are risks around it. We better know what we are doing and not to be scared. That as well, I think, is very important from what you are
yeah,
mentioning.
for sure.
And now, keeping moving forward in a fast speed as the AI is doing. Anything coming next for you? Any other talks,
Well, I
presentations?
do. Well, about the talks, I'm not sure which one I will share. I do have a list of them in my, let's say, kind of suitcase. I will define the one which is the best for the audience here. But probably I would say speak more about the what's coming next, and that probably might be the tooling or the things related to the VR and AR itself.
Any conference for that you have in mind?
Uh, Star East.
Okay, so we'll see Dimitri in Staris. I have a feeling that I'll see you there.
Yeah, because the market will gonna have a shift as soon as the Apple, because well, we have to admit Apple can make a shift, and the we're not yet sure that these look VR set will
Goggles.
be widely used, but still, we can definitely say that all those VR technologies like representation and even watching the movies in VR will pop up. And for that reason, we have to be able to test that as well. And probably the next big thing to bet on will be the tooling and the capabilities for, like, I mean, to do the VR testing itself. At the end of the day, it's not that complicated because it's still like if you have two screens in front of your eyes, it's still just a screen, and it's still the screen which you can show on TV. We know how to test the TVs already. The
No, but
only
there's a plethora of other things, positioning, gyroscopic stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah. So
lag, performance. Super important, the performance there,
yeah, it
because
adds some complication into that, but still, at the end of the day, it's like testing of the streaming visuals, and I assume the next thing is will be somewhere around the object detection inside the streaming. So,
uh,
which will be something like, I would say, you can easily compare it with the locators. So
yeah,
just imagine we need something which should be your next locator on the,
for all these new
yeah, for
technologies.
the VR set. So like you need to say, let's say selenium, uh, find element like
Have me a
close
I don't
button.
know, spatial grid for this, and locator for, I don't know, volume one that is there, because it's going
Yeah,
to be volume, it's going to be 3D, it's going to be moving with reference frames, switching frames. That's
yeah.
going to
And
be
the thing is,
crazy.
like, it cannot stay in the same position, same coordinates. It
My-
on like like where you will look at it.
I think that is also a great topic coming. 2 years ago, the metaverse was like, wow, it's going to be all over the place. Now we have AI, and we never know, because I think last year was crypto, and every time we have something that it's driving everyone crazy. I do agree with you. The metaverse has a lot of potential as well and needs to be tested. I'm not sure if hardware wise we are there yet, because to me, the only blocker has been like the size of the headsets. And
Hmm.
if you could just like a couple of glasses, wear it around all the time, and it's transparent, you don't even bother, maybe then. But I don't think we are there yet. I hope soon, because I have lots of expectations. I think it's going to be great, but to not to keep extending too much, because I think we're going to have more conversations. I'm enjoying these futuristic situations, but we're about to wrap up StarWest 2023. And Dimitri, for the people that want to follow up with you and stay tuned and probably figure out about your next talk at Star East 2024, where can people find you?
Well, it's pretty easy. The LinkedIn itself, just type my name, I will be there. Another
I
Another
know
way is
that
the
people will
Twitter.
have trouble typing your name. May you mind spelling it?
Spell it.
It's here on the screen,
Sure.
but
That's
for the
like
ones that are listening to us, Dmitriy.
Dmitriy. Yeah, and with the last name that's Gumeniuk. Yeah,
How do
and
you pronounce your last name?
Gumeniuk.
Gumeniuk.
Yep.
Okay, Dmitry
Almost,
Gumeniuk.
yeah, almost the same like you read it in with letters. So it's pretty close. Pretty close.
No, but I know that in English gets a little bit different at times, and things can get weird. But Dmitry, thank you so much for
You're
coming
very
and
welcome. That was
sharing.
a pretty nice conversation. Thank you for having me here.
It was a blast, and I really wish we could keep talking on camera. But everyone, thank you, Dmitry. First of all, thank you for being
Thank
here.
you everyone for being with us.
It has been a pleasure. And we are about to stream the wrap up of StarWest 2023. So, everyone, I don't know if we're going to have any more interviews. I highly doubt it. But the last thing that we're going to have today is the walk around of the end of the event. We're going to see a little bit of the keynotes. I think I'm going to try to sneak you into them so that you can see what is the end of the show. But with that, that is going to be it. And we have some more announcements. For the ones that want to learn more modern performance, I'll see you next week at PNSQC. If you haven't subscribed, there's a workshop on modern performance. See you there. We have lots of talks. There are going to be panels. Go to the PNSQC conference as well in Portland, Oregon. If you are in Seattle or the Pacific Northwest area, we will see you there. Your amigo will be there in person, so don't miss it. Workshop performance.
And me as well.
Oh, you are going to be in
Yeah, I'm gonna
PNSQC?
talk at the PNSKC
Small
as well.
world. Oh my God. What are you going to be presenting there?
Well, actually, the paper around the report portal about the machine learning itself, and it's more like academical form of the research
Uh-huh.
of the results. So if you want to go deeper into that, just like join.
You're going to have a lot of these two guys then in the next days. And, well, hopefully we can have Dimitri, I don't know, in a panel. Let's see. Probably I can convince him after this. So stay tuned because live stream, walking around the closing of the event. And we'll see you next week in Portland, Oregon for PNSQC. With that, Señor Performo, out, saying goodbye to the people. Adios, gente. Adios, Dimitri.
Adios, guys.
How do you say goodbye?
In which language?
In Belarusian.
До побачення.
Okay, I cannot do that. So take care, everyone. Adios. Thank you very much.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.